don't pay on time. Alright, let's play that game. I know this is long. I feel like it's worth it though. I'm not an English teacher, sorry for my poor grammar, I'm just a boyfriend. My so worked at a private school in his career, also known as a Hagwin. Hagwin teach all kinds of subjects and this particular one taught English. They would hire native English teachers from around the world to come to Korea and teach English. Although I have never taught English in Korea, I've been in Korea long enough to be very familiar with the laws, practices, and heard numerous horror stories. I also am good friends with a Korean who is a lawyer that specializes in business disputes. So I met my girlfriend. She was on her second contract in Korea at a new school as the first school she worked at, the owner retired and shut it all down. That was actually a pretty positive experience. He always paid on time. When he informed everyone he was shutting down the school, he'd of course pay out everything agreed upon in the contracts, but also any unused vacation time, sick time, plus he would double that year's bonus as thank you. My girlfriend told him in her contract she had a free flight home at end of contract, but didn't plan on using it, so the owner of her first school told her that's fine, he'll just pay her an extra $1,000 as that is what the flight would cost anyway. So my girlfriend found a second school to work at after her first school shut down due to retirement of the owner. However, her second school had some warning signs that I was concerned about. Oh well, not my business. This was still very early in our relationship. 2 months into our relationship, my girlfriend is annoyed. I find out that her school has only paid half her salary and will be paying the other half in 1 week. This was a massive red sign to me. I gave my girlfriend advice what to do at this point. She ignored me and said, they are just having a little cash flow issue, some students haven't paid on time. Okay, whatever. 2 months later we get invited to a dinner hosted by the owners, a husband and wife. I got off work early and headed on over. Red sign number 2. Both husband and wife drove very nice cars. The wife had a Tesla and the husband had a very nice BMW 5 Series. Off we go to dinner. I get to dinner. My goal is learn as much about my girlfriend's school owners as possible. So I jump into pleasant conversation. More red signs to follow. Red signs are going off in my head like this place is heading straight for the freaking cliff and everyone needs to jump ship now. Not enough students. Owners have a ton of bills. They won't be staying in business long. Again, not really my place to say anything at this point, but I took a mental note. Next month girlfriend pays late again. Let's just say she kept telling me to mind my own business each time I tried to give her advice. This went on like this for 3 months. And finally, she went an entire month without getting her full salary. She got about a 1/3. Final red sign. You see, in Korea it's common for the school to pay the rent and provide housing. Apparently they haven't been paying rent. Girlfriend is mad. She's broke and about to become homeless. The time for action is now. Remember when I said I knew what to do? ProRevenge starts here. I had her check her national pension, tax records, and healthcare information, all of which are legal requirements for her to maintain her visa. Even though her school hasn't paid those things for months, she's required to pay them. I'm fuming pissed. This school is royally freaking over my girlfriend and that's not cool. My girlfriend is distraught cause she's a very prideful woman that now has to ask her boyfriend, that's me, for help. I pull into the savings and pay up all her requirements and set up regular monthly payments to ensure that even if her school doesn't pay, which they haven't, she can maintain her visa. I then ask her a favor. I want to sit down with her co-teachers. Experience has taught me she's not the only one getting fricked over. However, do you know what the beautiful thing about this is? You see, the Korean gov is sick and tired of schools bringing over foreign teachers and fricking them over. In the past, those teachers who have gotten fricked up have gone crawling to their respective embassies, oftentimes homeless, penniless, with nowhere to turn, because their employer didn't have the resources to meet their contractual obligations, and many schools were getting shut down, especially on the third compliant. I tell all her co-teachers to keep going to work. They have to maintain their visas, and I would get back with them in a day or so. I also am good friends with a Korean who is a lawyer that specializes in business disputes. Remember that part? This lawyer and I go way back. I've known him for a better part of a decade. He helped me navigate my divorce. I gave him a couch to sleep on when he was going through his divorce. I once loaned him money, he paid me back, and we both really liked helping each other out. Now I'll spoil the fun for you. No, this lawyer, my friend, is not going to be suing the school, but... So I called up my friend and said, hey, I wanna go drink some soju and talk to you about something and maybe hit you up for a favor. He goes, sure thing. We go to our favorite BBQ place, start pounding back the soju as I explain to him the situation. He's getting madder and madder. He's upset because he feels like this is giving those foreigners a bad view on his country, and he hates Koreans that make Korea look bad. And I ask him to help file claims with the labor board, with the goal of... Now my friend wouldn't be suing the school as a government-appointed lawyer would be, since this is a labor board issue he really doesn't need to do much. However, when a Korean lawyer who specializes in business law calls a labor board to file a complaint about a breach of contract with an English teacher against a Hagwon, that carries more weight than if the teacher goes through it by themselves. Also, I feel like it helps the communication and eliminated potential language disputes. This would be compounded by the fact if each of those teachers filed separate cases against the same school a few days apart. He agrees to help. Strike 1. Girlfriend goes up first. My friend sits down with her, collects what evidence she has, calls the labor board. Complaint 1 filled. Bam. Girlfriend goes to school, her boss is pissed. Her boss approaches her and asks, how can you betray me? My girlfriend said, pay me my money. Boss asks, how can you do this? Girlfriend said she smiled and said, this is just the start. Strike 2. Strike 1 is still underway with the labor board coming down the necks of the Hagwon owners demanding payment, demanding to know my girlfriend hasn't been paid. Friend calls the labor board, same case manager, he files case number 2 against the school. Next day my girlfriend and strike 2 teacher is called into a meeting with her owner and husband. They want to work out a payment plan and give them a letter of release. Girlfriend says, full payment in full of all money owed plus bonus for completion of contract prorated for months completed or no deal. The owner tells her that's not possible. Girlfriend said that's fine, full payment or no deal. Strike 2.5. My friend finds out what the Hagwon owners tried to do. He advises my girlfriend and her co-teachers, if that happens again, do not engage in any negotiations, hand them his business card over, and tell them, if they have a settlement offer they can call their lawyer. He gives business cards to all teachers. Strike 3. Bam, wham, open a can of worms folks, we are here. Co-teacher 3 goes to my friend. He calls a labor board. Guess what? Same case manager has gotten 3 valid labor disputes over breach of contract from the same school, all in a matter of 2 weeks. This school is now not only a liability to its employees, but the Korean government. The hits land. Labor board apparently called the school, demands that all salaries, pension payments, taxes, health insurance premiums, and rent will be paid in full within 10 days, or the education license and business license will be revoked, and the school's assets will be seized and sold to pay the teachers what they are due. In addition, creditors/etc who are also very likely owed money will be paid. Left hook lands. My girlfriend said the next day at school was crazy. The owners were freaking the frick out. Their entire lives was falling apart. They had a government lawyer so far up their ass they couldn't even sit down. That's when the owners decided they would pull all the teachers into a meeting and work out a settlement. Keep in mind at this point the school owed approximate $20,000 in back wages, healthcare premiums, pension payments, and future liabilities on top of whatever rent was due for all their apartments, which by this point were all under separate eviction proceedings. The owners offered each one of them $1,500 in cash that day if they would be willing to drop the labor dispute. Each one of the teachers pulled out my friend's business card and said, any settlement offer should be made to my lawyer. I so wish I could have seen this happen. The owners grab the business cards, look at the teachers and go, you have a Korean lawyer? They answer, yes. You all have the same lawyer? They answer, yes. Can you imagine? Have 3 separate legal issues from 3 separate people, and finding out the same lawyer is representing each individual suing you? How that must feel. Will you take the 1.5 now, and we work out a payment plan? They all say, talk to my lawyer, at the same time. They leave the meeting. That night all 4 of us partied. They all felt like complete badasses. Their owners now knew how truly fricked they were. We had a pretty good party that night. The end was near. The owners dodge a bullet, for now. The labor board was really pissed. According to my friend who was following up with the labor board, the process to resolve this was being fast-tracked, and the labor board was deadly serious about shutting this school down if they couldn't pay by the deadline. Apparently the owners were trying to secure a loan to pay the teachers and keep the teachers employed and the school open. They filled for extensions and got some more time. They did pay out partial salaries which helped the teachers get by day by day. By this point my girlfriend had already been evicted and was living with me, and I was supporting her. She was loaning her partial payments to her co-teachers who didn't have the same support. Sir, it is time to drop fat boy. It was a Thursday. My girlfriend had just arrived at work. Yes, she was still legally required to work at a school that wasn't paying her. When shortly after she started, a bunch of Koreans arrived in suits, posted up notices. 15 minutes go by, and one of the Korean men in a suit steps inside of the classroom, introduces himself and says all the students are going be getting bused home for today. All the kids are loaded onto the buses and each one given a notice to give to their parents. My girlfriend is instructed to wait until all the students are gone. Process takes about an hour, and then my girlfriend is told she is to go home, and the labor board will contact her for the next step. They step outside. There is a moving van with a few Korean men waiting around. My girlfriend calls my friend, the lawyer, who calls the labor board. The school has been foreclosed on. Their assets are going to be seized and sold, and the teachers will paid out of the proceeds of the sale. If the school doesn't have enough assets to cover the salaries, payments /etc, the gov will seize any assets of the owners to pay. The teachers now had a judgment and the courts are going collect and pay out on it. The dust settles. 2 months later, one of the co-teachers opted to fly home. My girlfriend and the co-teacher that decided to stay in Korea found much better schools to work at, and my friend calls me all excited and told me he just got off the phone with the labor board. Enough business and personal assets have been seized and sold to pay all the teachers what they are due. Each teacher will have $300 deducted for the lawyer fees. Not for him, he did this all for free, but for the gov lawyer who handled the case behind the scenes. Also, the owners have been permanently barred from ever opening a business, and the education board had barred the owners from operating in any school setting again. No idea what happened to the owners after this, but life goes on. My girlfriend and I took a nice vacation on her back pay and put the rest in the bank. It felt good to win. TL. Doctor school didn't pay my girlfriend or her teachers. I asked my friend who is a lawyer to help them. Her boss lost everything and they got paid. What's amazing about this is that so many private schools prey on the teachers' helplessness and lack of resources in foreign countries to get away with criminal acts. Well done. I taught English in Korea for over a year. I was treated fairly well, but heard horror stories. Thanks. I love this story of organized revenge using the strength of numbers and good lawyering. Clap, clap, clap. Top-notch content.